Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So we are here on the PTR, and we got quite a lot of new stuff in this iteration of it. Obviously, pretty much every time they do more testing, we get sort of a big update patch for the PTR, and that gives us a ton of things to dive into in DATAMINED. So I have like 15 tabs open, and we're going to dive in and cover every single one of these things. Disclaimer, it is PTR, so this doesn't necessarily mean anything. They could change these things, as well as if you do not want to be spoiled, do not watch this video. But before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps my channel grow, helps me get discovered, and helps me help as many people as possible, which is the entire point of my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I'm going to switch it over here, and we are going to start with the blue post that they have for the phase. So ahead of this week's Naxxramas test, we have redesigned the difficulty system. Each quarter of Naxxramas can be empowered by using the orbs in the main lobby. Empowering a quarter enables a new mechanic inside that quarter and increases the difficulty across the entire instance, regardless of which quarter is empowered. After interacting with the orbs, there's a 15-minute cooldown before enabling or disabling that orb again. To tackle this dangerous new content, you'll want a new set of trinkets, the Seal of the Dawn. Players can get the Seal of the Dawn by talking to Krug Softjaw inside of Naxxramas. The Seal of the Dawn empowers the new Sanctified gear that can be discovered from Scourge invasions or while inside of Naxxramas. So that gives us a hint of Scourge invasions being a very fun event that we're going to be doing starting on January 28th, so 10 days from now. The Seal of Dawn can be improved by collecting Remnants of Valor from Scourge invasions or inside of Naxxramas. The power gain from Seal of Dawn is immense. Players are expected to obtain Sanctified gear and improve their seals to tackle higher difficulties of Naxxramas. So I don't know if that's redoing the 1 to 5 difficulty level completely, if that's just completely gone, or if there's still that system within this. So very interesting. But now we're going to switch into the DATAMINED stuff. So once again, please, if you do not want to see this DATAMINED info, if you want to save it for yourself, click off the video right now. Just want to be very clear so I don't spoil it for you guys. But anyway, here we go. So the first one is tons of new itemizations. So this is the biggest change. They always have one amazing thing just to highlight the differences between what normal Nax gear is and what Season of Discovery Nax gear is. So you see Necro Knight's garb. It actually has less armor, but it has defense and crit but no spell power. So very interesting change there. Servo arm, that thing is crazy good for shaman, so normally it is because of that one hand speed that it has. So now it has strength, agi, and still the discharge is a little more powerful, but it has some stats on it. Mainly most of this stuff just becomes sanctified for the most part. There's very minor buffs to spell power and things like this ring right here. They take away the 10 int, they add 6 firepower, and they make it sanctified. So that is definitely the biggest difference that we're seeing in most of these pieces. Or they become specialized, so like this one kind of loses its stamina, gains a lot of int, and then gains crit and a little less spell power. So 2 crit is pretty nutty, so very well itemized there. And then we could go on. This list is massive. There's over 400 items to look at, but just general things, most of them changed and became sanctified. Next, the most important thing is the Seal of Dawn trinkets. So this is pretty much how it's going to be working. It's very similar to the ring currently in AQ with the Time Worn. They are now sanctified, and so you have a DPS path, a tank path, and a healing path. So essentially, as you can see, this is the very first one and increases it by 0.83%. The next one is 2.92%, 4.17, 6.67. As you can see, it pretty much just goes up by 2.5-ish% every time. And then here towards the end, it becomes 4 once it becomes an epic. And then it'll end at 25%. So once you are all the way up there, you get to the rank 10 of each, you get 25% bonus. And these only work while within Nax, for that, so that's pretty cool. So it'll be a trinket that you just kind of put on for next, and you grind for outside of raid with the invasion. So really love to see that. The tank one increases your threat and your damage and your health by 25%. So I can see people actually using the tank one regardless, because you get your damage, and then while the threat's nice, you also get 25% health. So very interesting to see that. But like, as you can see, the DPS, oh, I guess it's just threat, because this also increases your health too. So my bad, I'm missing that. But I was gonna say, people might just use the tank one, and whatever the threat is, it is. Then the healing one just increases your healing and shielding by 25% and your health. So pretty much 25% health, 25% damage, 25% whatever else you need or desire. It would be really cool to dive into these and see the upgraded system. As we saw, we definitely read a little bit about them, but I can't wait to dive in more. Now this is actually really cool. I like this a lot. They essentially made all the profession reagent requirements a lot less with the AQ crafting pattern. So everything that used Arcanite bars, used obsidian infused thorium, Nexus crystals, cured rugged hide, mooncloth, all of those have been decreased by about half. So decreased from 8 to 4 for cured rugged, decreased the bolt of Karaji silk from 12 to 9, decreased the cured rugged hide from 5 to 3. And just, you really love to see that. So because AQ is getting phased out, people aren't going to be doing it as much. We move towards people doing this all other stuff, which is really awesome to see. So good on them. I always love when the previous content tier is no longer the current one, and then it makes it really obnoxious to go and farm everything. They take the time to reduce those, and it has been steep in AQ, but these pieces were BIS, or like a BIS enchantment or something that people really use, so makes sense there. Then this is a list of class and spell changes. Once again, just minor tweaks to class and spell changes. Warriors definitely get tweaked the most here. Pretty big buff to them, which we love to see there. They're changing sort of melee hunter and how it's interacting with the 4-piece and of the tier 3, so that's good, because apparently a dagger from Nomercon was BIS from The Sims, so you never want to see that. Everything else is just a general sort of tweak, but those are the highlights. Warriors buffed and melee hunters kind of reworked a little. Then we have the specific itemization changes. Pretty much every single tier set they've tweaked to some degree. They've added more or added less to it, and just sort of changed them all depending on what you had going into it all, and the different from what it is. So if you haven't looked at the tier 3 sets, definitely check it out. I'm going a little quickly because I could spend an entire 10 minutes talking about every single one of these articles if we were to really deep dive into the changes, but I just want to make you guys aware of these so you can go and check them out yourself. So we are going to go here to the new items updates. So essentially there are 373 new items or changes to things. Orders of the High General is really cool, and then the Port Cultist key, that is going to be pretty interesting to see what happens there. And then a Tome of Enchanted Flare, I don't know what that is going to be, but I can't wait to see what they end up turning that into, like what that spell is going to do. And then this is one of the coolest things, this tabard of the Scarlet Enclave. So wearing this will disguise you as a member of Scarlet Crusade forces at Tyr's hand, allowing you to approach without resistance. So that being added is very nice to see, because that is us going more towards the Scarlet Enclave raid. Then we have some amazing new loading screens, as you can see from, they added the Cares and Crypts one, as well as the Thunderin one, which is really cool. The art team is killing it with these. I always love them. They honestly make amazing thumbnails, and I always love turning them into thumbnails because it highlights the cool artwork, and I definitely think Blizzard's art team is underappreciated. Then we see the new weapon models here for 2 very cool weapons. We have the Blade of Inquisition right here, and we have the Totem of Unholy Might, which is a giant Tauren weapon. which is pretty cool. It's a class unique weapon, which is really interesting, and increases the wielder's strength by 400, but they take 20% more damage, and it's just a chance on hit. So I can't wait to see all the funny clips of people getting that proc and then just getting blasted by something. It's gonna be really, really funny. Like a mechanic goes out as that procs, because it's not on use. It's just a chance on hit. So like you have no control over when you get your DPS. It's just gonna proc, and then you're just going to potentially get one shot by certain mechanics, and it'll be completely unavoidable and absolutely hilarious. So can't wait to see that. Then this Blade of the Inquisition looks pretty cool. We don't know anything about it, how to get it. It just says property of the Inquisitor. Very chance on hit to increase your strength and movement speed. It's kind of insane for a blade, and then crit, and then it just has strength, agi, stam, int. It just has everything. So can't wait to see where that actually takes place. It's a 3.9 with 90 DPS, so can't wait to see where we get that. I don't know if it's Scarlet or not, but these are Scarlet Enclave related items that they added. Desecrated Ring, the Blade of the Inquisition, the Tabard, and the Orders. So all of those are things that are looking towards that. There's the Truth Bearer story and playthrough where you see a lot of this stuff unfold, and this is the Paladin class weapon quest, which I would have loved to make a video, but they never gave us Horde Paladin, so unfortunately I'm Horde, so can't really do that. I could, I suppose, level my Paladin, but that would take a lot of time and effort to level that up just to make that, when other creators already have done a phenomenal job of doing that. But pretty cool stuff. If you're interested in the story behind it and what might imply what is to come, definitely check out this storyline if you have not yet. So anyway, let's get to the final stuff. So these are effects and things. So big things, pretty much a lot of damage changes and things added. A big one is the damage dealt over time to warlocks and shadow priests. They got a lot of tweaks towards that. So dot things are going to be increased, which is cool to see. I love to see that. I think it is a cool playstyle that doesn't really work too well in Classic because things die really quickly, but it can be possible. So that Enchanted Flare spell, as we were talking about, expose all hidden invisible enemies within 10 yards of a target area and staves off magical darkness for 30 seconds. So essentially this is going to be tied to the Karazhan Crypts thing. So you're going to want a hunter, and they're going to want to deploy that Enchanted Flare to give you a little extra rest. Obviously we don't know anything about it other than the Karazhan Crypts gets dark and we're going to have to do stuff. We've seen a mechanic like that in retail, so I can't imagine it's too different. Like you pick up a candle, you pick up some source of light, and you have to run around through the dungeon with it without, if it gets pure dark, you just take a ton of damage and die. So hopefully we will see what it is pretty soon, and I can't wait. But a lot more item changes, some changes to the Atish, which we will definitely talk about here next. So Atish, Great Staff of the Guardian. So obviously with Season of Discovery they have changed every single one for Warlock, Priest, Mage, and Druid. The classic versions are right here, and they are pretty gross compared to what we're getting in SOD. So they essentially buffed all things with it, and the coolest thing is the aura, mainly the Druid one, because it'll increase your healing done, your spell power by 300, spell power by 150, and it increases the spell critical chance of all parties within 2 yards, or within 30 yards by 2%. This effect does not stack with multiple sources, so you can't just stack multiple crits or multiple healing with things. I would love for this to become spell and melee hit, just so you can justify giving it to a Feral Druid, because they increase the attack power of Feral to almost 600, which is insane. It makes it miss just by that. However, I would like to see that crit effect, because like if you have a Feral Druid, that weapon's going to crank, they're going to want it, and having it not be in having a Feral Druid in like a caster group would be really weird, because leader of the pack. And Druids already, like, you're going to give this staff to a Moonkin, so like they have the Moonkin aura and they have that, so I don't see the point. It would just be 5% crit for both. I would really love to see this be spell and melee crit like they have done with so many other things in Season of Discovery. Then we have the mage one, so it increases your casting speed of non-channeled spells by 4%. So that's haste in it, which is actually insane to add haste to that. I can't wait to see how much mages crank with that. And it increases the casting speed of all party members by 2%. So definitely going to want to see a mage one with that, because that's kind of nutty. Then we have the priest staff, which increases healing done by 62 and damage done by 19 for all. That's the effect, so it's healing and spell power. And then it increases healing done by 300 and damage by 150. I'm not sure if that makes it BIS for Shadow Priest, but they also are going to get 3% crit on the staff, which is awesome as well. Then the warlock ones, the warlocks are going to get 150 spell power, 3% crit, and then their effect is just 33 spell power. So I'm pretty sure you can have just a full teach group with a warlock, priest, boomkin, and they would just benefit from all of those 3 things, and then mage. So like, it's literally your caster group. You're gonna want one of each staff, and then they all just sit there and buff each other for the insane pumper group. And then just one other person gets a benefit that gets to pump with that. So it'd be really cool to see that. But once again, my only thing is I would love to see the druid get spell and melee crit, not just spell crit. Then, finally, to end it on this little note of what we're going to see with this corrupted Ashbringer changes. So, obviously, this has been the biggest what if that people have always wanted to see, pretty much from the moment SOD was announced, and they showed us a little hint of possible Scarlet content, which we obviously know we're getting now. But since that happened, we are seeing so much stuff about it. So obviously this is a placeholder. It's not going to take away 666 stam. That would straight up take away every single piece of stamina that you have from this. And then it is going to pretty much do the same stuff as normal. It just has a speed of 6.66, and it's doing insane DPS. So obviously a bit of a troll with that to keep it hidden, but that tells me that they're going to be doing something with it. And the biggest thing that people want to see is cleansing the Ashbringer in the Scarlet Enclave with some type of epic, amazing quest. So pretty funny of them to just hide it completely, because obviously a 6.66 speed is not real. Their ability of 666 requiring level 66. So they're doing something to it. They're keeping it hidden, and time will tell what we're going to see. But anyway, guys, this video is already long enough, so I truly hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, definitely drop it down below. I read all of them, and I can't wait to see what we have in store for Phase 7, as well as Phase 7.5 or Phase 8 with Scarlet Enclave, whatever it becomes. There's a lot of little tidbits of info there, but right now we have Phase 7 with Karazhan Crypts, Naxxramas, and the Scourge Invasion, which the Scourge Invasion is looking like something everyone is going to want to get out there and do and actually enjoy the game again, which will be fun to get out there and experience. So can't wait for it all, and until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.